Everybody, had a question about back pain. So a few exercises for that. Begin by starting in your cross-legged position. Move the fleshy part so you feel those sit bones into your mat or into the floor. Hands to your hips, and then just begin to rock those hips forward and back. So a lot of times whenever we do this, we'll find our range of motion. And then lengthen up the spine as you tilt the hips forward. Feel like that string is drawing you all the way up. Do a few shoulder rolls to work out any tension. And then allow those shoulder blades to draw down the back towards your hips. So to create a lot of space in the cervical spine here. From this position, we'll work all dimensions of the spine by inhaling the arms up, keeping those shoulder blades down, reaching all the way through the fingertips, and then you can exhale into a gentle forward fold. So anytime that we're doing any sort of back exercises, we want to keep those sit bones rooted into the mat and then extend and slowly allow the head to fall. And as you drop that head, you can shake it out, no, shake it out, yes. And you'll just kind of feel that release in the spine lengthening. That's our goal here. As you come up, pull that belly button in towards your spine. Use the abdominals to draw the body back up. Inhale the arms overhead, and then we'll go back. So take those fingertips, point them towards your bottom, and then pull the belly in, lengthen the chest up and out. And then we're gonna knit the ribs together. So what that means, instead of allowing the ribs to splay open, we're gonna keep that knitted, pulling the belly button in, lengthening the spine tall, and then opening up through the chest and the shoulders. So here, so that upper back pain, neck, stress, everything like that, we're really gonna work it out here. Then inhale the arms all the way up tall, keeping those shoulder blades down, and then we'll take it over one side then the other. So dropping that hand, and then again, we wanna lengthen through the fingertips, but draw the shoulder blade down towards the hips. So instead of hunching and rounding, we're going to lengthen and strengthen. Keeping that opposite hip rooted into your mat, and just work with your range of motion. If you can go deeper, that elbow comes down and the fingertips reach. And then doing the other side, same principles here. And each time that you're moving, that belly button stays pulled in towards the spine, because that's what's gonna protect the spine. Inhale it up. And first we're going to big inhale, lengthen, and then exhale in a gentle twist. So the opposite hand to that knee. Lengthen your spine first, keeping everything here still and just working on twisting and rotating through the spine. Now if you're pregnant, twists aren't always recommended, but twists are very good to work that range of motion and also real good for your digestive system. So if you have issues with that, make sure that we're twisting, but first inhale and lengthen, and then turn and look over the opposite shoulder. As you come up, big inhale, exhale the opposite way, lengthening that spine first, and then turning and looking over the opposite shoulder. And of course, hold those as long as you'd like, and make sure that you're breathing, lengthening and tightening that belly button in towards the spine to strengthen as well. And then cat-cow is always a good one to do. So fingers are really wide spread apart onto your mat, making sure the shoulders stay over the wrists, hips over your knees. Knees about hip width apart would be fine. So I always like to inhale here to feel that neutral spine. So you're gonna pull the belly button in, draw the shoulder blades down towards the hips, and then lengthen out your cervical spine. Big inhale, exhale, pull that belly button in toward your spine. It's a rounded back. But here, I always like to shake my head out, no, and then shake it, yes. So after my back injury, I was not able to do this at all because I had very little movement in my spine. But I learned to pull my belly button in and really open up the shoulder blades, and then I can feel each vertebrae kind of lengthening out a little bit more. Now, key here whenever we go into our cow is to keep the belly button pulled in towards your spine. So a lot of times you'll see this and we'll just kind of be hanging out here and the head will be up and the tail will be sticking out, the belly is fallen. So that actually puts a lot of pressure in the low back. So what we want to do or try is to pull that belly button in towards the spine and then And then feel as if you have a string connected to the tail that's pulling it up but out. That's key. So we're lengthening, and this is a really great stretch for abdominals as well. And then you can just alternate between those two, you know, however fast, however slow, and concentrate on, if you're not able to feel that spine move, have somebody put their fingers directly like this on your vertebrae. So as you move, they move their fingertips. So you can really feel it, especially going through this area, because that's where we don't have a lot of movement in our spine, so that kind of tracks it for you. Then, once you're in that cat, I always like to just kind of shift my weight back and forth to open up the whole body. So try that, kind of doing a modified plank, modified child's pose, and then also opening it up into a big circle around. Just kind of gets the whole body moving and more fluid for the most part, and make sure you go both ways around. Just kind of make the whole body warm up a little bit more. And then from here, you can just come back into your child's pose, which is always great for any sort of back pain. Big toes are going to be together, knees are going to be apart as best you can, and then you sink the hips back first. If you need to place a block here, feel free. If you need to place a block here, feel free. But then we're going to lengthen out through the spine. Keep those hips sinking back, and this is going to be more active. So pull that belly button in towards the spine, and then allow your forehead to come onto the mat. You can stay here for as long as you'd like. Allow those hips to open. Kind of wiggle it back and forth if you need to. And then also, I always enjoy taking my hands to one side and feeling that stretch, making sure that that hip over there stays put. So it's not like we're going to go here and say, oh my gosh, I have a great range of motion. We're going to stay here and find that range of motion. And then again, opposite way as well. For back, those are just a few stretches that you can include every day, watching TV, before, after your workouts. And if you have a pull-up bar, that's my favorite thing to do, is just hang. So I will grab my pull-up bar here. It kind of works your arm strength as well, and it's great, but you can literally feel that spine lengthening out. Also, last thing for today is coming into your yoga squat. So your yoga squat, you can start standing. Feet can be really however far apart you need. Some people can be really, really narrow with this, but it's really due to their ankle flexion, and all of us are different here. Main thing is to keep the foot flat on the ground, elbows in towards that inner knee area. Lengthen up the spine, hands into prayer. And same thing here, we're pulling that belly button in and we're drawing the shoulder blades towards our hips. And so this is going to restabilize that SI joint. Lots of information, and I can tell you more about restabilizing that SI joint if anybody is interested, or if you have any other questions. And I'll also talk to you about how to strengthen the core and the back in some ways soon. Okay, have a great day. Tell them bye, Lily.